Welcome to Capital City News, your source for staying informed and engaged with Salt Lake City government. I'm your host, Brian Young with Salt Lake City TV. For our episode today, we spoke with Stephen Meyer, the new executive director of Salt Lake City's 911 dispatch department. Our History Minute is about the first talking pictures in Salt Lake City. But before we get to those, let's take a look at our legislative update and then take a look back. At its February 8th meeting, the City Council, acting as the RDA, received briefings on and adopted a resolution relating to the Housing Allocation Funds policy and made amendments to the Housing Development Loan Program. As the Council, they heard a briefing on Free Fair February, the redistricting process, and the library's Master Facilities Plan. They also discussed Budget Amendment 6. At its February 15th meeting, they received briefings on the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, homelessness, and community engagement projects. They recommended 9 applicants to the city's redistricting commission and, along with Mayor Aaron Mendenhall, adopted a joint resolution recognizing February as Black History Month in Salt Lake City. To learn more, visit slc.gov/council. The Salt Lake City Planning Department held an Ask Me Anything session to talk about the proposed affordable housing overlay. They gave a brief presentation and then answered your questions about it. To watch the entire video, visit our YouTube page. Free Fair February, designed to help the air quality along the Wasatch Front, has been a huge success. Ridership across buses, tracks, the Frontrunner, and the Sugar House streetcar in the first 2 weeks of February was up 20% on weekdays, 34% on Saturdays, and 27% on Sundays. Visit rideuta.com/freefair to watch those ridership numbers increase, and be sure to ride UTA and help clear the air in Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City's waste and recycling teams work hard to make sure that residents' recycling, compost, and trash are picked up every week from 42,000 homes and businesses. When you find yourself behind a waste and recycling truck, be patient and put safety first. Slow down. Look for oncoming cars and workers before you attempt to pass a truck. Stop if necessary, and don't pass if you don't have full visibility or enough space. Look out for pedestrians, cyclists, children, and pets that may be obscured by the truck. Never pass a collection truck on the right. Drivers have blind spots due to the size and angles of collection equipment, and you will be in harm's way. If needed, let the truck finish its collection to keep workers, oncoming motorists, pedestrians, and yourself safe. We can all do our part to prevent accidents and keep ourselves and Salt Lake City's waste and recycling workers safe. For more information, visit slcgreen.com.
The best way to defeat COVID-19 is by getting vaccinated and ensuring those around you are also vaccinated. Vaccines for COVID-19 are now available for kids 5 to 11 years old. To set up your child's appointment, visit the Salt Lake County Health Department website at slco.org.
For our interview today, I spoke with Stephen Meyer, the new executive director of Salt Lake City's 911 dispatch department, about the nature of the job and the help they need.
Yeah, hi, my name is Stephen Meyer. I'm the new executive director of Salt Lake City 911. I just started with Salt Lake City 911 in November. I came from a small town in Alaska called Kenai. That's about 3 hours from Anchorage, where I was running a dispatch center there. It's obviously a much different landscape and different feel here in the big city compared to Kenai. It was a much smaller town, but I'm super happy to be here. I work with a great group of people. Our management team, our dispatchers, everybody that I've encountered has been very supportive and is all in on our mission to, provide great service to our citizens.
What makes dispatch in Salt Lake City unique?
We have so many agencies that surround us that we have to coordinate with daily to make sure that our citizens get the help that they need. We also dispatch for the city of Sandy as well. It's not just Salt Lake City. So then there's that logistical challenge that we have to, interact with these different pieces all over the place. And it really is challenging sometimes. And then being the capital city, that presents its own unique challenges. We deal with a lot of high-level dignitaries. We deal with big events that a lot of these other cities don't have to deal with. It really presents a challenge, not just on a law enforcement fire side, but also for a communication side. Communications is really the most important piece when it comes to police and our first responders, because they rely on us to get them that information. So our people have to know the city, they have to know the policies, and they have to know how to help people. And that's what the men and women of this department do every day. Sometimes they work 14 to 16 hours a day to make sure that our first responders are well served, as well as the callers and visitors to our city.
What's the acute need that dispatch has right now that you're looking to fill?
Dispatch as a whole, I'm talking on a high level, across the country, type deal here, is always short-staffed. It is, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It is a hard job, and it's not for everybody. A lot of places, they don't pay well. I'm pleased to say we actually, with the support of the administration, just had a significant raise for our dispatchers. So at this point, we need people, and we really would like to have experienced dispatchers, but we will take and train anybody that's willing to step up and help their community. If somebody out there is listening and wants to apply, I encourage them to go on the Salt Lake City website, apply for a public, safety dispatcher position, and we will train you, and we'll make this isn't just a job, it's a career. Dispatchers are the first responders. When somebody calls because their loved one's having a heart attack or they're sick, it's not the firefighters that's the first responder, it's the dispatcher that teaches them how to do CPR over the phone. So, this is really one of those jobs where you can make a difference every day.
Is there anything people who are watching this and might want to apply, is there anything they should know before they do that?
I alluded to it earlier, but this is a very tough job. You will hear things that you wish you hadn't heard. And we don't try to sugarcoat that or hide that. During the application process, we will play calls for you that are very tough to hear. And the reason we do that is not because we want to scare you away or we don't want you to work for us, but we want you to understand what the commitment is. And we want you to understand what you're getting into. Like I said, there's very few jobs out there in the world where you have the potential to be the difference that somebody has. You can be the reason somebody is alive today versus not alive. You can be the reason somebody got out of an abusive relationship. You can be the reason that somebody didn't get their car stolen. You can be the reason somebody didn't, get, killed, or somebody, didn't get something stolen from them. You can make such a difference in people's lives in this profession. And that's what we try to drive home during our training process, is that you get what you put into this job. You get out of it what you put into it. So, I ask that anybody that wants to apply for this, that they do, and just have an open mind and be willing to work hard and really be willing to be that difference that we're looking for.
Time now for the History Minute. Before sound and cinema were forever synced together, the technology was little more than a novelty. When the Vitaphone company developed a way to sync records to moving pictures in the 20s, a new era of Hollywood was born, albeit slowly. Warner Brothers was the first company to truly embrace the technology and produced hundreds of short subject films on it. The first theater in Utah to obtain a Vitaphone system was the American Theater, located at 241 South Main Street, where the Wells Fargo Center building is now. The first sound-synced film they played on their Vitaphone system was actually the silent film Don Juan, set to a score by the New York Philharmonic Orchestra on January 29, 1927. Later, the first feature-length talking picture to be shown in Salt Lake City would be The Jazz Singer on May 26, 1928, at the Victory Theater at 48 East and Broadway. The Jazz Singer was the Al Jolson hit that featured his performance in blackface. The Victory Theater itself was segregated, and non-white audiences were forced to watch movies strictly from the balcony, which was the case in every movie theater in Salt Lake City with a balcony until the late 1960s. The Tower Theater opened in January of 1928, but would not convert to Tower Talkies until 1933. Now, it's almost impossible to find a theater not equipped to show talking pictures.
You ain't heard nothing yet. Wait a minute, I said it.
That's it for another episode of Capital City News. Remember, the best way to stay engaged is to stay informed. You can do that by following us on social media at SLC.gov, by subscribing to us on YouTube, or watching us on Channel 17. So, reporting in from Memory Grove in Salt Lake City, Utah, right next to the Capitol, I'm Brian Young.